daily practice for you that's non-negotiable? I know you don't regularly meditate, but you have in the past.
Yep.
Do you write every day? Do you try to communicate every day? What's something that keeps you?
Well, if I'm in the midst of a book, then I write every single day. If I'm in the midst of a research project, I work on it every day. I find gaps are not productive for me. Gaps require that I go back to where I was 3 days earlier. So it really depends on what the focus is at a given moment. But when I'm working on something, I'm working on it intently, I'm working on it continuously, I'm working on it fully.
Okay. And again, 10 years out from now, is it more books? Is it different creative ways to interact with people? Are young people more important? Tell me.
It's a great question, and I don't mean this as a waffling answer, but I kind of am happy by the fact that I don't know how to answer that question. I'm open to wherever it goes. It used to be the case that I would consider that I've got to be doing research every single day, and if I'm not doing research, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I came to a point where I'm now, some days I can do research and some days I can do other things. And I'm just going to allow the opportunities in front of me to grab hold of my attention, and I'm going to go wherever it feels most interesting.
Okay. You had quite an interesting journey, went to schools in a lot of different places. What was one of your better days in your life, and then one of the harder days? Because I think a lot of people just see an up and up and up journey, but that's never true. It must have been hard to do at some point as well. What were some of the tough moments, and then some of the ones that you really remember, like, wow, that was special for me?
Well, you know, some of the tough moments, you know, I think I tend to block them out, which is maybe a defense mechanism, but I can certainly say, generally speaking, that it feels a little bit like a failure that I cannot get my kids interested in these kind of big ideas. And I understand it. Since they were quite little, people would come up to them and say, you're going to be a mathematician, you're going to be a physicist, which kind of just made it like that's the last thing that they'd ever want to do. So I feel like they're kind of one step removed from things that would get them very excited, and it's difficult for a parent to penetrate that kind of a barrier. So it's kind of weird that there are these kids out in the world that do get real excited when I talk to them about these things, but can't get it to happen at home. But in terms of best days, well, there are obviously the personal ones, birth of kids, marriage and so on, wedding. But in terms of scientific days, you know, when we discovered that the fabric of space could rip. It was a very intense research project carried out when I was at Cornell with one other individual there and one at Santa Barbara, I guess, at the time. And it was so exciting to look at equations that were telling us that space could do things that Einstein would never have thought possible. And we were totally nervous that maybe we were making a mistake. We submitted the paper to the online archive where you put new research. And as I was driving away, I suddenly thought, oh my God, I think we made a mistake. And then I had in the car the other research. We drove back to the department. We tried to retract the paper. We looked at we were like, it's fine. It's all good. It was that level of anxiety, and it was correct, and it was really, for me, one of the gratifying scientific moments to have that kind of a discovery.